In my past life, I awakened a special type of core familiar, but my foot vouchers couldn't deal any damage to the enemy, so I was ruthlessly abandoned by the school as trash. It wasn't until I was adventuring that I discovered that the real power of the foot vouchers lies in parasitism, which can parasitize any voucher dog. Becoming a parasite, even though I made a living by picking up garbage every day in my past life, I still cultivated 3 generations of parasites. A total of 6 kinds, but even with such a powerful foot voucher, I was still betrayed by the core foot voucher. On the contrary, it was fatal, and now reborn with the memories of my previous life, I decided to first raise the faith level of the foot voucher to frenzy. But just then, the voice of my class teacher came from my ear. The school leaders have carefully discussed and decided to reward that Bao Song quota to classmate Zhang Long. I hope you can understand. Seeing me standing there blankly without responding, Zhang Long immediately mocked, "You trash! Mr. Liu is talking to you? Are you dumb?" I reacted. Shocked, I looked at the surrounding area, the head teacher Lu Feng who persuaded me to drop out of school, and the reward that snatched my Bao Song quota. I had returned to the time when I just opened the divine realm. This is a world where everyone can become a god, and when I opened the divine realm at the age of 18, the core bond one awakened was an extremely weak mutated horsehair worm, because the core bond was garbage. Not only the Bao Song quota promised by the university could only be given away, but I didn't even make it to the college entrance examination. I was persuaded to drop out by the class teacher Lu Feng on the grounds that I couldn't keep up with the progress of teaching, and he got the reward of the Bao Song quota. He obtained the power of the university and was promoted to the God King in less than 10 years, while I had no way out but to go to work in another place. As a result, while performing a certain task, I was betrayed by the core family and died in the task. The difference between the two destinies is as great as heaven and earth, and the root cause is the lack of that Bao Song quota. I believe you will understand the school's arrangement. Class teacher Lu Feng said, taking out an agreement from the drawer, which stated, "I am willing to voluntarily transfer the Bao Song quota to Zhang Long. As long as you sign this agreement, I can, in my personal capacity, sponsor you with a cavalry legion of 10,000 azure wolves, which is much stronger than your core family mutated horsehair worm. Enough to support you to get into a good university." Class teacher Lu Feng said, handing a pen to me. "Student Chen Xing, sign your name." Class teacher Lu Feng ordered me in an irresistible tone. Zhang Long's eyes were burning. As long as Chen Xing signed this agreement, that Bao Song quota would be his. In the previous life, I believed the class teacher Lu Feng and signed the agreement. It caused me to live in humiliation and unwillingness for the next 10 years, and now that I have been reborn once, I will never repeat the same mistake. I didn't take the pen, but I looked serious. I refused to sign. Class teacher Lu Feng was immediately a little annoyed. "Do you know that the Bao Song quota is a school resource, and in your current situation, what qualifications do you have to occupy school resources without letting go?" Zhang Long mocked, "With your garbage foot voucher, you went to a good school. Can you survive? That Bao Song quota is the experience of my 2 first places in the grade. I would rather waste it than hand it over." I didn't plan to waste any more words with the 2 of them, and directly stated my position. Class teacher Lu Feng suddenly stood up and shouted harshly, "Do you think I am asking for your opinion? I am notifying you, sign the agreement now. Otherwise, my class will have no place for you." Upon hearing this, I snorted coldly, in the memory of the previous life, even if I signed this agreement, and relying on that cavalry legion of 10,000 azure wolves, I achieved good results in the subsequent assessments. Didn't I still get persuaded to drop out by Lu Feng on the pretext? "If you want to kick me out of the class, suit yourself, but this Bao Song quota, I won't hand it over even if I die." After speaking, I directly chose to teleport home, completely ignoring class teacher Lu Feng's frustration. Class teacher Lu Feng's face was flushed with anger at my behavior, but he couldn't do anything to me. The school stipulates that teachers can't physically punish students, at least not nominally. Zhang Long was a little anxious. "Teacher, you promised me that you would definitely get the Bao Song quota for me. My dad spent money." "Shut up." Class teacher Lu Feng shouted angrily. "I will naturally do what I promised your dad. If he doesn't want to sign the agreement, then I will find a way to get him to drop out of school. With his garbage mutated horsehair worm, he can't pass the assessment I set." On the other side, I went home and immediately got into the Divine Realm login pod to log into my Divine Realm. A fertile plain with lush vegetation, until later adventuring in other places, it was a chance encounter. The core foot voucher parasitized an ordinary goblin voucher, and burst out with powerful power. I suddenly realized that my core foot voucher was not the so-called mutated horsehair worm at all, but a parasitic life form. They are called parasites, Generation 1, Yi. In the previous life, I have cultivated 3 generations of parasitic organisms, a total of 6 species, each possessing different powers. This is also the confidence I have to stand up to my homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, in this life. You won't take anything from me again. I looked at the parasitic organism in my hand and murmured, now I need a lot of goblins to screen for a suitable host, but as a student I have no money. I can only ask my parents for money. Dad, your chance to get rich has come. I need goblins. After the call I had 2 more cards in my hand. Each stored 1,000 ordinary parasitic goblins. I directly put these goblins into the divine realm and then controlled the parasitic organism to parasitize. On a goblin, instantly, the goblin's whole body was wrapped in black. The size doubled and became extremely warlike, but in less than 5 minutes. The goblin died violently, and the black parasitic organism detached from his body, with more tendrils than before. I decisively controlled the parasitic organism to parasitize the second goblin, then the third, the fourth, until the 1678th goblin satisfied the needs of the parasitic organism. The parasitic organism's first generation, Du Yi, officially awakened. I hurriedly checked Du Ye's information, core favor. Parasitic organism, first generation, Du Yi. Favor level, extraordinary mixed-type life form. Favor talent, strength, super regeneration. Faith level, non-believer, robust. I was a little excited, and Du Yi also asked his first question after awakening at this moment. Who are you? I suppressed the excitement in my heart and responded in a majestic voice. I am your god. Is God delicious? Du Ye's mouth dripped with crystal saliva, reflecting his truest thoughts at this moment. In the previous life, Du Yi and the mutations of his descendants were not enough in faith, which caused my core favor to be frightened by strong enemies during the mission. Choosing to betray, which directly caused my own death. Reborn in this life, I will never allow this to happen again. Knowing Du Ye's cunning, gluttonous personality from the first-generation parasitic organism, the best solution is to beat him hard, beat him until Du Yi has a stress reaction. Let him feel from the bottom of his heart that betrayal is something he can't even think about, let alone do. Before I could act, Du Yi suddenly rushed out, opening his bloody mouth and roaring. I am the master of this divine realm. I dodged Du Ye's attack with a sway of my body. While dodging, I took out a big move that could release fierce sound waves. I knew clearly, Du Yi fears sound waves. The fiercer the sound waves, the more fearful he is. When Du Yi pounced again, I held the big move and let out an angry roar, directly shaking Du Yi off the goblin. The big move. All that awaited Du Yi was the sound wave suppression he could not resist. Du Yi, who had only just awakened, could hardly resist. Instinctively, he also felt a little fear towards me, and fear is the seed of faith. I knew this very well, and continued to suppress Du Yi again and again. When Du Yi was about to starve to death, I would throw him a goblin's head to supplement his nutrition, doing both kindness and severity, repeating the operation. It lasted for a full month in the divine realm. During this period, Du Ye's faith soared from non-believer to fanatic. His fear of me has been deeply ingrained in his instinct. In the future, when he encounters an invincible opponent, he would rather commit suicide than choose to betray. At present, there are nearly 300 goblins in the divine realm. I waved my hand and allowed Du Yi to eat these nearly 300 goblins. I have to find a way to get a goblin family group to be Du Ye's food, but this also requires resources. As a student, I can only find ways to get more resources from the school. Just as I was in trouble, I received a text message from the school. It was a group notification sent by the homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, in the class group. Tomorrow, the class will hold the first exam since the 3rd year of high school. Those with excellent test scores will receive generous rewards, and the students with the worst scores will be directly advised to withdraw. After reading it, a sneer appeared on my face. This is obviously the homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, targeting me, wanting to take the opportunity to advise me to withdraw and take away that guaranteed spot. He is really insidious, but I see more opportunities in it. With Du Ye's current strength, if I operate it well, I may be able to get the first place in this exam. I am only short of resources to cultivate Du Yi and enhance my strength. Lu Feng, Jianglong, this time. I'm gonna have some fun with you guys. The next day, I arrived at the classroom early. The classmates in the class already knew about my confrontation with the homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, yesterday. The look in their eyes towards me revealed a bit of weirdness. At this time, the class bell rang, and the homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, entered the classroom. When his eyes swept over me, a bit of fierceness appeared on his face. He thought I wouldn't come today. But it's even better that I came. As long as I have the worst test scores, I'll just get the school's higher-ups to handle it. Today, I can start the dismissal process. Jianglong, quite smug, suddenly raised his hand and asked, Teacher, you haven't said what the rewards are for this test? Class teacher Lu Feng's expression turned serious. Because it's the first test, so the rewards are very generous, but only for the top 3. Instantly, The class let out a wail. Out of the 40-plus students, only the top 3 could get rewards. The amounts are quite substantial. Third place can choose a level 1 holy artifact from the class resource pool. Second place. Immediately, the students gasped. Holy artifacts are the most lacking resources in the core territory. They can be added to the core of the divine domain in the godhood entry, affecting all of the core territory's bodies with significant effects. And a single spark of divinity is even more extraordinary. In the currency conversion of the divine domain civilization, 100 million faith power equals 1 divine power, and 10,000 divine power equals 1 divine artifact. Faith power is the earth power generated by the territory, and cannot be used for direct transactions. The basic currency of the divine domain civilization is still divine power. An average family earns about 4,000 divine power a month, and this time, getting first place will get you a divine artifact, which is 10,000 divine power. It's unbelievably generous. After hearing this, Zhonglong couldn't stop smiling. How could he not know that the rewards stipulated by class teacher Lu Feng were meant for him? He was determined to get that spark of divinity. It's just because his core territory is the naturally extraordinary life form, the shameless winged lion, which ranks among the top students in the entire class and even the entire school. Of course, I faced the rewards proposed by class teacher Lu Feng. And then ask a question. Teacher, I want to ask, can students who don't pass the test also get rewards? Chen Xing, are you out of your mind? Rewards are only for the top 3. How can you get into the top 3 without passing the test? You always got first place in exams before, but now it's a test. With your garbage core territory, don't even think about first place. You'll be lucky if you're not eliminated. I've long been sick of your face. So what if you got first place for 2 years? What's so great about it? The college entrance exam tests the strength of the family, got it, hick. Various mocking voices rang out one after another. These students obviously wanted to gain the favor of class teacher Lu Feng by belittling me. Chen Xing. Students who don't pass the test are considered failing and naturally can't get rewards. Also, the student with the worst score will be dismissed. Is there anything else you don't understand? Then what should be done if someone tries to steal my mission rewards? I continued to ask. Deal with it? Do you think you can get anything with your garbage hairworm? Then how could you be dealt with? I will give you to you, you will give you to you. You will give you to you, you will give you to you, you will give you to you. You will give you, you will give you, you will give. Will you give? Do you think you can get anything with your garbage hairworm? Just trying to put on a good show. More students mocked around. Late-stage paranoia. Diagnosis complete. Beyond saving. Just send him to the crematorium. Some students started being sarcastic. Why would they rob you and not others? Setting aside the facts, don't you have any responsibility? Some students were already punching here. Tu nos wonders. Quiet. Class teacher Lu Feng's expression became more serious. Chen Xing. Your concerns are not unreasonable, but you need to be clear that the purpose of the test is to simulate the future. The purpose of the test is to simulate the future, situations that may be encountered. Being robbed only means that your strength is insufficient, and you lack power. The teacher only looks at the final result. Understood. I nodded, already making plans in my mind. Are there any other students with questions? If not, then let's start the test. I hope you all get good results. Class teacher Lu Feng looked around at all the students in the class. Then he manipulated the equipment in the classroom to send all the students' consciousnesses into the test space. The test space can simulate real situations as much as possible. Because it is the consciousness that enters, even if they are killed inside, it will not cause the students and the family to die. All the students were assigned to different areas in the test space, and the requirements for passing the test were also displayed in front of me. In this test space, there are tens of thousands of different life forms. Gray finch. Each gray finch has a thick plume on its head. Your task is to obtain at least 100 gray finch plumes. The more you get, the higher your assessment score. I wonder what the other students think of this requirement, but I'm only focused on the gray finch life form. Their favorite food is horsehair worms. They even prioritize hunting horsehair worms when encountering different foods. Also, gray finches are relatively difficult to capture compared to most life forms. And Zhonglong's core familiar is the toothless pterosaur, and it likes to eat plumes. Combining these factors, choosing gray finches as the mission objective for this assessment shows that homeroom teacher Lu Feng put in a lot of effort. But so what? I won't be defeated by this little setback. I'll directly communicate with the divine realm and release Du Yi. Normal goblins are only about 1 meter tall, but after being parasitized by Du Yi and with all the training these past few days, the size has tripled, reaching 3 meters tall. It's practically a black troll. It looks more like a demon, although its life level hasn't reached the heroic level yet. It's not far off. As long as I get the rewards from this assessment, I'll be able to buy suitable resources to help Yi improve its life, and I can even start cultivating parasite generation too. Lu Feng. This time I'm gonna make you lose both the lady and the troops. I thought to myself. Yi curiously observed its surroundings and then said to me, God, I'm hungry. I'll let you eat your fill soon, I comforted. Then I started exploring the surroundings. The assessment began. Most students were trying to capture gray finches. Some students were directing familiars to set traps, and some were using local materials to make slingshots and bows and arrows for bird hunting. Still other students organized their familiars to climb trees and find gray finch nests. My approach was different from these students. My goal from the start wasn't the gray finches, but these students. Driven by hunger, Yi, carrying me, ran quickly and soon found a student who was directing their familiar to set a trap. That student was very surprised to see me and Yi. After all, the news that my core familiar was a cheap horsehair worm was already well known in the class. And who was this guy who looked like a goblin, but was very different from a goblin? Before that student could ask a question, I had already given the order for Yi to attack. Yi immediately opened its big mouth and pounced on the student. The students had just awakened their core familiars, and their quality and strength weren't high. Su tun tai qua emotis and vat song siu viet, lai tap nu dak de hon ton la su engian ep. Ka hoxin kia tam chi kanchua hu chuyen gi dang zara. When Yi attacked and bit off their head in one bite, the familiar they had summoned also dissipated. Of course, in the assessment space they are all consciousness bodies. Even if they die, it won't affect their main body, but they will lose the score of this assessment. Yi crunched and crunched. I calmly accepted my fate and found 2 plumes from the place where that student's consciousness body disappeared. Although there was still a big gap from the required 100 plumes, it was only just beginning. Under my command, Yi ran in another direction. On the other side, Zhang Long was directing his core familiar, the toothless pterosaur, to ruthlessly harvest the lives of gray finches. The toothless pterosaur is a transcendent life form. It has natural flight ability, and it's an overkill to use it to deal with small gray finches. But what should I buy with this bit of divinity? Zhang Long was already planning how to use the rewards he was about to get. At this time, a student intruded into his range. Zhang Long, don't attack. I just came over to discuss something with you. That student said with a flattering smile as he approached Zhang Long. Zhang Long had an impression of the student. His name was Zhang Wei, and the core familiar he awakened was the Black Iron Goblin, a life form naturally skilled in management. What's the matter? Zhang Long naturally said. He wasn't worried that Zhang Wei might sneak attack him, because he thought he would think of this day. Zhang Long had an impression of this student. His name was Zhang Wei, and the core familiar he awakened was the Black Iron Goblin, a life form naturally skilled in management. What's the matter? Zhang Long naturally said. He wasn't worried that Zhang Wei might sneak attack him, because he felt he was strong enough. Zhang Wei explained his intentions with a flattering smile. Zhang Long, I want to make a deal with you. What deal? You want that little bit of divinity too? Zhang Long's tone was filled with disdain. How is that possible? With your strength, first place will definitely be yours. No one can take it away. My goal is second place, that tier 2 treasure. Zhang Wei can help explain it. However, in this assessment, the strength of my core familiar cannot be fully utilized. There are also 3 or 4 others in the class with similar strength to me. If I don't think of a way, this second place will likely fall into their hands, so the purpose of my coming to you specifically is to buy some resources from you, Zhang Wei said. Zhang Long was very skeptical. Buy? What are you going to buy with? A tier 2 treasure costs at least 2,000 divine power. If you can give me 2,000 divine power, I don't mind helping you. 2,000 divine power is too much. The only bargaining chip I can offer is a tier 1 treasure. This tier 1 treasure is very suitable for your core familiar, Zhang Wei said, displaying the attributes of the tier 1 treasure to Zhang Long. Tier 1 treasure, Wind Spirit Fossil. After adding it to the divine domain core, there is a certain chance that the core familiar will comprehend a wind-type skill. Creatures with innate flight abilities. The chance of comprehension will be greatly increased. Zhang Long's eyes widened as he scanned it. As Zhang Wei said, this tier 1 treasure is indeed very suitable for his core familiar. Shameless hyena. Moreover, with the shameless hyena's efficiency in capturing gray feather sparrows, helping Zhang Wei get second place is just a matter of convenience. Immediately, Zhang Long agreed to the deal. Both parties reached an agreement. After Zhang Wei gets the reward for second place, he will hand over the tier 1 treasure, Wind Spirit Stone, to Jiang Long will then direct the shameless hyena to collect more Rain Ling at a faster speed, and give 1/3 of it to Zhang Wei. Zhang Wei is also happy to sit back and enjoy the benefits. After all, he spent money. The homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, silently watched the expressions of the students in the assessment space. He focused his main energy on Jiang Long's side. Jiang Long's shameless hyena indeed did not live up to his expectations. Its speed in collecting Rain Ling far exceeded others, making it the undisputed first. Of course, Zhang Wei's choice to trade with Jiang Long did not escape the homeroom teacher Lu Feng's eyes. He didn't dislike this kind of resourceful student, and even felt that this kind of student who knew how to make trade-offs was more worthy of cultivation. In the future, he could slightly allocate resources to help Zhang Wei develop his core familiar as well. After all, black iron goblins are naturally elite life forms, skilled in manufacturing machines. The homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, quickly checked the playback to find out the reason. Turned out that Chen Xing was robbing other students. Using that dark, bulky thing. Chen Xing, you're simply courting death. Using a familiar you found somewhere to cheat so blatantly. Now I can apply to directly expel you. The homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, said coldly. However, the homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, did not intend to succeed and did not immediately directly cancel my assessment qualification. He wants to wait for me to get first place, when that little bit of divine power reward is within reach, and then give me a head-on blow. In the assessment space, the more I rob, the more enjoyable I feel. In the face of Du Ye's powerful strength, the other students simply have no strength to resist. This made me experience the taste of power. But I still didn't relax. Among all the students in the class, only Jiang Long is the most powerful contender for first place in this assessment. How can I feel at ease if I don't eliminate Jiang Long? I sped up my search and soon discovered Jiang Long's core familiar. The traces of the shameless hyena. Found it, I muttered to myself. My voice was full of excitement. I didn't have a chance in my previous life, but in this life, I will definitely torture Jiang Long properly to vent my anger for myself in the previous life. Du Yi. Next, you will parasitize on my body. I want to personally experience the joy of revenge. I ordered Du Yi. Du Yi, after eating so many brains, became even more fanatical about my faith. Immediately detached from that arm-thick body and attached to my body. In the blink of an eye, a 4-meter-tall black mini-giant appeared in the assessment space. I felt the long-lost feeling of being fully covered by the mecha. My whole body is full of power, as if I am omnipotent. But there are also some flaws. That is, I am not a mecha body, so Du Ye's perfect compatibility can only exert 80% of Du Ye's power at most. Moreover, during the mecha period, Du Yi will constantly extract energy from my body. For safety reasons, I can currently only let Du Yi mecha for 2 hours at most. After more than 2 hours, my organs will show signs of failure. This also motivates me to cultivate Du Ye's variants as soon as possible. Among the other 5 variants I currently possess, a 3rd-generation variant that can perfectly fit my body is key to improving my own strength. Get ready. The solo version of me suddenly bursts into the hunting grounds of the shameless pterodactyl. The shameless pterodactyl was casually playing around, capturing prey, when suddenly such a big guy popped up. It really gave them a fright, and immediately one of the shameless pterodactyls flew towards me to attack. But facing the shameless pterodactyl's attack, I counterattacked with the mecha body covering me. Under my control, most of it concentrated on my right hand, making my right hand several times larger. It transformed into a giant claw, directly grabbing the shameless pterodactyl and restricting its movements. Then, the solo version of me, with a mouth full of terrifying historical teeth, popped out and bit down on the shameless pterodactyl's pointed head. The shameless pterodactyl's hollow bones couldn't withstand the biting force of the solo version of me. It only took one bite. That shameless pterodactyl was instantly killed. As the owner of the shameless pterodactyl, Jiang Long, at the moment of the shameless pterodactyl's death, he sensed it and decisively rode another shameless pterodactyl to the scene. He saw the solo version of me, at that moment crunching and chewing on the shameless pterodactyl's head. Instantly sucking up the brain fluid inside, Jiang Long's mentality exploded. Bastard! How can a new familiar, which is a mutated trash, be so powerful? To get first place. You actually chose to cheat. After the assessment is over, I will definitely report you. And let Teacher Lu expel you. Jiang Long roared angrily. Well, doesn't that have to wait until the assessment is over? Now, just be my ration. The solo mecha's mind was filled with thoughts. I immediately launched a more violent attack, using the surrounding trees to climb quickly. Then, I jumped vertically onto the shameless pterodactyl Zhonglong was riding on, and a sharp claw slammed down on Zhonglong's head. Gradually applying force, the assessment space cannot truly kill students, but the pain received, it can be almost 100% transmitted to the student's body. Immediately, Zhonglong convulsed in pain. His mouth kept ejecting a paste-like substance, until Zhonglong's head was crushed, and the surroundings quieted down. A large amount of rainforest scattered with Zhonglong's death, and the surrounding menacing shameless pterodactyls also disappeared with their master's death. I landed heavily, a large snake head stuck to the claws. Chen Xing, classmate. Let me state in advance, Zhonglong and I are not together, it's just a normal cooperative relationship. Continue. I immediately put the solo mecha back on my body, and approached Zhonglong step by step. The emotionless words didn't show a trace of belief. Zhonglong understood his strength, and fighting was simply unrealistic. He immediately and quickly stated his thoughts. He and I are really in a cooperative relationship. I promised to use a level 1 sacred object to exchange for his rainforest. I wanted to take second place, but now he's dead. I want to cooperate with you, you set the price. I'm the same as him. As he said this, Zhang Wei's face was completely devoid of confidence because the solo mecha's head was hovering 5 centimeters above his head. If he were a second later, his head would have been crushed. I'll set the price. My voice came out, implying the end of the game. Zhang Wei hurriedly continued, as long as the value doesn't exceed the value of that level 2 sacred object for second place, it's fine. You have to let me make some money too. Give me 1,500 contribution points, and I'll guarantee you second place. I replied, given the current situation, Zhang Wei can only agree. Then it's a pleasure to cooperate, Zhang Wei said with a flattering smile. Zhang Wei, you have to let me make some money too. Give me 1,500 contribution points, and I'll guarantee you second place. I replied, given the current situation, Zhang Wei can only agree. Then it's a pleasure to cooperate, Zhang Wei said with a flattering smile, reaching out to shake the claw of the giant claw on my head, and this scene was clearly seen by the class teacher, Lu Feng. The first place he was optimistic about was instantly killed. How could he endure this? He no longer waited or hesitated and directly activated his power. As the class teacher, he used his authority to stop the assessment, so the students were temporarily returned to their bodies. They woke up in their classroom seats. Most of them were extremely angry, and a moment later they directly exploded. Rushing towards me, Chen Xing, you piece of trash. You dare to kill me. I'll kill you. Class teacher Lu Feng was worried about things becoming even more chaotic. He hurriedly slammed the table heavily, scolding. Everyone be quiet. Get back to your seats. Zhonglong, after hearing this, seeing the class teacher, Lu Feng, with a serious expression, I could only reluctantly return to my seat. Only then did class teacher Lu Feng speak. Chen Xing, during the assessment period, openly cheated, disrupted order, and caused a serious teaching incident. Do you admit it? Facing class teacher Lu Feng's stern questioning, I answered neither humbly nor arrogantly. I followed the assessment rules. If there was a problem with the assessment, what does it have to do with me? As for cheating, that's even more absurd. I'd like to ask teacher Lu, which I saw me cheating? Instantly, the students in the classroom erupted. They all thought I was crazy, daring to speak to class teacher Lu Feng like that, especially those classmates who I had eliminated. They had personally witnessed the army that I summoned. It wasn't a horsehair worm at all. Class teacher Lu Feng was so angered by me that he laughed. You really think there's no surveillance during the assessment? You ask me which I saw it? Your core familiar is a horsehair worm? Do you dare say that's a horsehair worm? But I boldly showed no hint of guilt. Yes, this is my horsehair worm. Class teacher Lu Feng's head throbbed with anger. You really are determined to not shed a tear until you see the coffin. If you have the guts to keep up this attitude, I'll immediately apply to the school's higher-ups to expel you, this troublemaker. The application quickly reached the Academic Affairs Director, Zhao Lina. The next second, Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina arrived in my class. Director Zhao, I can't handle this student anymore. He openly cheats and maliciously robs other students, seriously hindering other students from taking the assessment. He's truly committed heinous acts. Class teacher Lu Feng immediately started complaining to Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina. Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina's gaze fell on me. Chen Xing, is what teacher Lu Feng said true? I snorted coldly. Nonsense. Everything I did complied with the assessment system. He just wants to steal my guaranteed admission spot and frame me. Class teacher Lu Feng's face immediately turned ashen. Don't rush to deny it. It's simply sophistry. The guaranteed admission spot is the school's resource. I'm asking to give it to a more excellent student. What's wrong with that? Besides, we're discussing your cheating right now. What does it have to do with the guaranteed admission spot? Don't confuse the issue. Saying that, class teacher Lu Feng directly displayed the images from the assessment space. Director Zhao, I believe you've also heard that my core familiar is a horsehair worm. But look at the life form in these images. It's not a horsehair worm at all. Isn't this blatant cheating? Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina frowned as she watched the images. Chen Xing, do you have anything to say in your defense? Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina asked, wanting to hear my side of the story. I have nothing to quibble about. If Director Zhao wants to see the truth, she can simply take a look inside my divine domain. I remained calm. After all, I was very clear that I hadn't cheated at all. After hearing this, Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina nodded. After receiving my permission, Zhao Lina used her authority to enter my divine domain for inspection. Inside my divine domain, Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina saw my core familiar, the armored horsehair worm, then I showed her my unique skill. Under my command, the armored horsehair worms gathered on that arm-thick body, transforming into the nocturnal nightmare, its extraordinary and hybrid life form aura shocking Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina. Could there really be such a magical life form in this world? Along with her astonishment, Zhao Lina's gaze toward me also changed. Chen Xing, your cheating suspicion has been cleared. You must work hard and strive in the future. Your teacher looks forward to your future performance. Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina praised me a few times, and then exited my divine domain. Seeing Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina come out, class teacher Lu Feng hurried forward. Director Zhao, I told you he was cheating. Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina immediately raised her hand, stopping class teacher Lu Feng from continuing. Teacher Lu, I've already verified that. Chen Xing is not suspected of cheating. There's no need to discuss the cheating incident any further. Class teacher Lu Feng was dumbfounded on the spot. He now suspected that Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina had been bribed by me. Whatever Director Zhao says, class teacher Lu Feng said weakly, but the fact that he disrupted other students' assessments is a fact and must not be let off lightly. Academic Affairs Director Zhao Lina immediately turned her head and asked me, Chen Xing, is this true? Yes, I readily admitted, but I did everything according to teacher Lu's instructions. He said, Chen Xing, I'm warning you. Even if I'm not being framed, do you have any evidence? Class teacher Lu Feng immediately stopped me from continuing. But I was prepared. I recorded it. The director of academic affairs, Zhao Lin, finished watching my recording. Her expression turned serious. Teacher Lu, please come with me for a moment. As the two left the classroom, it immediately burst into an uproar. What did they see? Chen Xing went against class teacher Lu Feng and even won. Brother Xing. He walked back into the classroom dejectedly. He was criticized by the director of academic affairs, Zhao Lin, and his bonus was deducted. Even the way he looked at me carried a hint of resentment, but he had to follow the instructions of the director of academic affairs, Zhao Lin. The first place in this assessment is Chen Xing, he announced with utter anger. Class teacher Lu Feng announced loudly. And at this moment, I suddenly stood up. Teacher Lu, I don't know if what you said before still counts. The promised godhood reward will be sent to your account. Class teacher Lu Feng looked prayerful. But I shook my head. I'm asking, does the rule that you said about expelling the worst performing student still count? As I said this, I glanced at the students in the class. More than 20 students, because of my robbery, had a score of 0 in both good and grades. In other words, if anyone is to be expelled, half of the class would have to be expelled. Now, it's not just class teacher Lu Feng. Half of the students in the class were looking at me angrily. Class teacher Lu Feng's face was now turning red with anger. All kinds of rules he had set up against me were now backfiring, becoming weapons I used to attack him. This time, he lost face in front of all the students. I also advised the teacher to be more honest in the future and not to engage in petty tricks. Otherwise, the one who suffers will most likely be yourself. Class teacher Lu Feng was immediately speechless. He widened his eyes but couldn't say a word. He forcibly took a deep breath and managed to squeeze out 2 words, despicable. Returning to my residence, I first received the godhood assessment reward. Finally, I also received a transfer of 1500 god power from Zhang Wei. Chen Xing, you're too awesome. I'll call you Brother Xing from now on. Zhang Wei left a message. Today, my open opposition to class teacher Lu Feng was simply breathtaking for Zhang Wei. I accepted the 1500 God power, feeling great, and replied with a sentence. There will be opportunities for more cooperation in the future. A total of 1150 God power was all I gained from this assessment. For a senior high school student, this is definitely a huge sum, but also because of this, I have completely broken off relations with class teacher Lu Feng. I will inevitably be targeted in the future. In order to avoid being schemed against by class teacher Lu Feng in the future, I must make myself stronger. Out of the 1150 God power, I first took out 500 God power to buy goblins as food for Dewey in the future. The military warehouse stores cards of 1000 ordinary level goblins. This reminded me of a change in the second generation of mech BIOS, which is to have similar abilities. I immediately made a decision and chose a holy object rubber fruit. After spending God power, a holy object rubber fruit was quickly delivered to me. I added it into the core of the God domain, and immediately a special ability. Is like 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 a special ability. I immediately made a decision and chose a holy object rubber fruit. After spending God power, a holy object rubber fruit was quickly delivered to me. I added it into the core of the God domain, and immediately a special energy spread within the core of the God domain, encompassing all the mech BIOS. About 10% of the mech BIOS were affected, and their bodies became more resilient and gained extraordinary toughness. I picked up a mech bio and tested it. It was like a rubber band, easily stretching to 5 times its original size. This can only be considered a physical enhancement and does not reach the level of mutation. But it cannot be denied that when the mech BIOS reaggregated into Dewey, because some of the mech BIOS had acquired a rubber physique, Dewey's body became stronger, and its attacks became more ferocious. I took the opportunity to upgrade the goblin that was being parasitized. I spent 600 God power to buy 3 types of enhancement potions and injected them directly into the body of the goblin being parasitized. The 3 potions took effect, causing the life level of the goblin to achieve a leapfrog upgrade, rising directly from the ordinary level to the extraordinary level. Own upgrade plus parasitic target lifeform advancement, prompting a comprehensive upgrade in Dewey's overall strength, directly promoting it to a hero-grade hybrid lifeform, and by the way, it also comprehended a skill. Because of rubber fist, a punch can extend the fist a full 5 meters forward. It can be considered a long-range attack move. After doing all this, I still have 4,800 God power left. I plan to use this God power to cultivate one of the machine lifeform generation 2 variants that I am familiar with, a variant called Skin Change. The most suitable race for it is the elite-grade octopus with long legs. In order to raise the octopus with long legs, I have to create a body of water in the divine realm. At the same time, I also need some special materials to induce the machine lifeform to transform. The 4,800 God power was quickly spent. Under the catalysis of special materials, a black machine lifeform transformed into green. This is the prototype of Skin Change, one of the machine lifeform generation 2 variants. I immediately took out an octopus with long legs. To feed Skin Change instinctively draws from the octopus with long legs and extracts the energy from its body. To grow and reproduce, I spent a full 487 octopus with long legs before finding a suitable parasitic target for Skin Change. Prompting Skin Change to awaken, I can finally see the specific attributes of Skin Change again, core tentacle. Parasitic lifeform generation 2 Skin Change, tentacle grade, extraordinary hybrid lifeform. Tentacle talents, tenacity, elasticity. Faith level, non-believer, newly awakened Skin Change. Its personality is more irritable than Dewey's, and it even dislikes me, launching an attack against me. 8 tentacles, brandishing wildly, slapping at me, at an extremely fast speed. Faced with this situation, I had anticipated it. I immediately took out my previous purchased megaphone and shouted loudly at Skin Change, a terrifying sound wave, causing Skin Change to be unbearable, almost completely separating from the octopus with long legs. But compared to Dewey, Skin Change is smarter, seeing that I have a means to restrain it. It immediately chose to escape. I prepared to pursue, and Dewey made a request to me. God, let me do it. Dewey was very excited. Seeing Dewey so proactive, I agreed to Dewey's request, and then I saw that thing of Dewey's. Shouting, "Call me Daddy!" Under the dual torment of Dewey and me, it only took 20 days. Skin Change surrendered. It became my fanatic believer and Dewey's good son. I am quite satisfied with this cultivation, which gives me more confidence. To face the next wave of targeting from class teacher Lu Feng, however, What was beyond my expectation was that after the assessment incident, class teacher Lu Feng went silent. In the following month, he didn't do anything to target me, nor did he conduct any more reward-rich assessments, resulting in serious malnutrition in my divine realm for the breeding of armpit worms and octopus with long legs. I am very helpless about this. My own family's resources, my parents can't provide much help, and the school assessments are not effective. If it continues, I'm afraid it will affect the growth of Dewey and skin change. Just as I was worried about this, Zhang Wei brought me some news. Zhang Wei didn't know where he got to. Name cards to the abandoned gold mine, asking if I would like to go together. Mentioning the abandoned gold mine. My eyes lit up immediately. As a reborn person, I know too much about the divine realm core level. The higher the divine realm core level, the more sacred objects that can be added, to make the core dependence even stronger. Thinking of this, my eyes lit up. I am very clear that in this reborn life, if I want to defy fate, what I can rely on is my memory, as well as the cultivation of my core dependence. Any opportunity that can make me stronger, I must seize it tightly. Immediately, I agreed to Zhang Wei's invitation. Taking advantage of the fact that there were no classes at school on the weekend, we too arrived at the outer perimeter of the abandoned gold mine through the teleportation array. Zhang Wei was worried that I didn't know the information about the abandoned gold mine, and kept popularizing it to me. Brother Xing, the abandoned gold mine only allows us, who are still at the divine creature level, divine realm players to enter. My core dependent, the Black Iron Goblin, is good at mining, but its combat power is a little weak. After entering, you have to protect me. I readily agreed. After all, this opportunity is indeed rare. If it really goes as I planned, maybe this wave will be enough to make me rich. Just as we were discussing preparing to enter the abandoned gold mine to mine, a familiar figure came in front of us. It was our classmate Zhang Long. Zhang Long clearly saw me and Zhang Wei. That's why I especially made do, and you two pieces of trash actually arrived here too. Tickets. Couldn't they be stolen? Zhang Long snorted coldly, originally looking down on us. In his opinion, my last assessment results were valid entirely due to the director's favoritism. My personal strength is still not worth fearing. I decisively stepped forward and grabbed Zhang Long's clothes. Don't want to bother with you, and you're still pushing your luck. Have you forgotten how you were before? How I crushed your head? Zhang Long immediately recalled the words from the assessment, and his body twitched involuntarily. Don't think I don't know your despicable tricks, thinking that with the director backing you, you can protect that precious Song Dynasty goose? Soon you will know that your backer is of no use at all. Zhang Long pushed me away, speaking with a sinister expression. Just then, a tall figure appeared behind Zhang Long. Little Long, are they acquaintances of yours? Cousin. You've come at the right time. It was this kid who used despicable means during the assessment to snatch a bit of my divine spark. Zhang Long immediately complained to his cousin Zhou Liang. Zhou Liang's gaze fell on me, incredibly sharp. So you're called Chen Xing, huh? Not ordering. Return that bit of divine spark to Little Long right now, and also that precious Song Dynasty goose. You hand it over to Little Long. Otherwise, after entering the abandoned gold mine, don't expect to have a good time. Zhang Wei was intimidated by Zhou Liang's tall body. A bit scared, he said to me in a very small voice, Brother Xing, why don't we leave? I think the tickets to the abandoned gold mine are very precious. We can't waste them. That's better than losing our lives, right? Zhang Wei was very fearful. Also, I heard that the abandoned gold mine is a lawless zone. Even if someone is killed inside, it's difficult to be held accountable without concrete evidence. Who loses their life is not yet certain, I said coldly. Zhou Liang snorted coldly. Hopefully your life is bigger than your mouth. Zhang Long then proudly addressed me and Zhang Wei, talking about his cousin Zhou Liang's reputation. My cousin is a top student at the prestigious War Academy. Only one step away from being a demigod. It's as easy as flipping your hand to kill you guys. This time, Zhang Wei was even more scared. Brother Xing, a top student from a prestigious school, we can't afford to offend him. Or else, let's just leave. Who knows if he used some shady methods. Using the Song Dynasty goose he stole from someone else to get into the prestigious school, I analyzed. Zhou Liang's expression immediately became very ugly, just because I spoke the truth. Hopefully you can still say such things when I stick a knife in you. Zhou Liang issued a threat, with a hint of embarrassment turning into anger. Likewise, after saying that, I supported Zhang Wei, and entered the abandoned gold mine ahead of them. Zhou Liang and Zhang Long followed closely behind. The first thing I did upon entering the abandoned gold mine was to summon Evernight. Under my command, Evernight grabbed me. and carried Zhang Wei on its back, fleeing deep into the abandoned gold mine. Zhou Liang and Jiang Long, who teleported in afterward, couldn't even see my shadow. "Cousin, what do we do?" Jiang Long asked anxiously. He really wanted to take this opportunity to kill me. "Thinking that just because you ran, I can't find you? You underestimate a War Academy student too much." Zhou Liang immediately summoned his core dependents, a pack of hellhounds, appearing in the abandoned gold mine with his summons. "Find them for me." Zhou Liang issued an order to these hellhounds. Woof, woof, woof. In the dim mine tunnel, the howling of hellhounds echoed. Zhang Wei was completely frightened. Divine King. We are still the lowest level divine beings in the divine system. The existence of a true God exceeds us by a full 7 levels. The degree of preciousness can be imagined. It's just that the mine tunnels in the abandoned gold mine are extremely complex. In a short period, I am also unable to find the direction. At this time, a hellhound chased after us and emitted a piercing bark, seemingly relaying my and Zhang Wei's location to other hellhounds. I decisively ordered Evernight to kill this hellhound first. Evernight, with overwhelming force, easily slaughtered this hellhound. I hurriedly took some of the hellhound's blood and smeared it on myself and Zhang Wei. This is to use the hellhound's items to conceal our items, thereby disrupting the hellhound's tracking. Soon, Zhou Liang and Jiang Long chased over. It's just that the items belonging to me and Zhang Wei ended here, causing those hellhounds to frantically run around in the surrounding area. In the end, they only found the companion's corpse. Damn it, it actually killed one of my hellhounds. Zhou Liang cursed angrily. He heard from Jiang Long that I had a very strange life silver on hand. Actually, Li Neng killed the extraordinary level shameless wyvern. Jiang Long also encountered this situation for the first time. "Brother, you must help me. As long as you can kill him, I will ask my dad to give you a lot of resources." Zhou Liang immediately stated, "You don't need to tell me, I will help you." With that, he summoned from his own divine domain a heroic level 3-headed hellhound. This was one of his trump cards as a top student of the War Academy. "Track down this scent. Find them." Zhou Liang issued an order to the 3-headed hellhound through his divine domain. The 3-headed hellhound immediately began to frantically sniff. Its life level is higher, and its sense of smell is more sensitive. Moreover, it has 3 heads to help each other. Soon, it smelled the scent hidden under the bloody smell of the hellhound pack. "Continue tracking," Zhou Liang ordered. On the other side, Zhang Wei and I were still running. While running, I would also order Du Yi to destroy the surrounding entities, blocking the way we came. Doing so would definitely delay them for a longer time and might even cause Zhou Liang and Jiang Long to lose track of us. Zhang Wei's mood eased during the escape. He was no longer panicked. "Xingji, are we still mining?" After recalling it over and over again, I felt that I was no longer far from the true God's relic, until I saw a huge stone wall that was too smooth and completely matched the location of the relic in my memory. I immediately became excited. "Summon your core subordinate, the Black Iron Goblin, to dig on this stone wall." "But there's nothing on this stone wall." Zhang Wei hesitated. He didn't want to do something stupid that would be a waste of effort. "I'm telling you to dig, so dig. Trust me, I'm definitely right." I was inexplicably excited. Du Yi had already opened his big mouth and was scratching at the stone wall. However, the stone wall was too hard, causing Du Yi to only be able to wear down some of it. Zhang Wei, according to my instructions, summoned the Black Iron Goblin to dig at the stone wall. The Black Iron Goblin was originally good at mining. In addition, there were as many as 1,000 Black Iron Goblins. Soon, they dug a hole in the stone wall. It was pitch black inside the hole and nothing could be seen. Zhang Wei hesitated. He sent a Black Iron Goblin to scout the way, but after the Black Iron Goblin entered the hole, it disappeared. Although the faith thread was not broken, it could not transmit any information, as if the hole shielded all information transmission. This made Zhang Wei a little unsure. The excitement on my face was hard to hide. "What are you waiting for? We've dug up a treasure. Let's go treasure hunting." "Really? There's such a good thing?" Zhang Wei smiled on his face after hearing what I said. He had also heard that abandoned gold mines contained piles of relics. Now it seems we really encountered one. "Follow my steps." Zhang Wei drilled into the hole. Afterward, we were teleported to an unknown space. In this space, there were countless small pieces of land that seemed to be unaffected by gravity, floating in the air. If you looked closely, you could even see that there were many creatures on these pieces of land. "My God, It's really a relic. Xingji, we're rich. Zhang Wei exclaimed excitedly. My gaze searched on these pieces of land, and I quickly found a small piece of land with temple buildings. There is a high probability that there is a real legacy there. Let's go to the temple first, I suggested. Zhang Wei is now completely cooperative with me, obeying my every word. Listen to Xingji. As he said that, Ji handily picked us up, and jumped towards other small pieces of land. When we encountered small pieces of land that were too far away, I summoned the whip. To assist, with Du Yi and the whip, the two quickly landed on the small piece of land with temple buildings. Before we even got close to the temple, there was a threatening voice coming from the temple. Who dares to disturb the slumber of my god? A minotaur carrying a giant axe walked out of the temple. The aura emanating from him had actually reached the peak of the heroic level. Feeling the power of the minotaur, Zhang Wei silently retreated behind me. I glanced at Zhang Wei helplessly and said directly, "You go to the side and wait. Don't let the battle affect you." Ah! Zhang Wei agreed readily, and ran far away in the blink of an eye. I then ordered my Du Yi and whip to stand on my left and right sides, respectively. Through the Minotaur's declaration, I understood the situation of this true god's relic. It should be that a god is slumbering here. Doesn't that mean there's a complete true god corpse inside? The Minotaur told me not to retreat. Immediately, I drew my giant axe, took a fighting stance, and Du Ye's aura suddenly erupted, forcing me to retreat several steps. Du Yi instead advanced and attacked, his two giant axes colliding with the Minotaur. Both being hero-level lifeforms, Du Yi was at a disadvantage from the very first exchange. Their physical qualities were similar, but the Minotaur was proficient in combat skills, its giant axe seemingly clumsy. Yet, it was always able to inflict heavy blows on Du Yi at opportune moments. Even if Du Yi had the superload ability, which could accelerate wound recovery, it still couldn't balance the damage. After fighting for a while, Du Yi was starting to struggle. I watched anxiously and decisively ordered the whip to launch a sneak attack. The whip's parasitic target was 8 palm long legs Zhang Wei. 8 long whips were unleashed. Swinging up and down, they did have some effect, temporarily forcing the Minotaur back. But the whip was, after all, a transcendent level lifeform, and its life level was different from the Minotaur's. The Minotaur was quickly able to grasp the pattern from the whip's swinging frequency and find a way out. Therefore, I decisively ordered Du Yi to parasitize my body. Although I couldn't unleash all of Du Ye's power, I had more combat experience and tacit coordination, plus the whip's tacit cooperation. The intensity of the battle was gradually escalating. Zhang Wei hid to the side. Watching this fierce battle, he also wanted to help. He immediately summoned 10 black iron goblins. These 10 black iron goblins were also holding rapid-firing crossbows made of fine iron. In order to successfully obtain the treasures in the ruins, Zhang Wei immediately ordered the black iron goblins to aim at the Minotaur and launch a sneak attack. Dozens of fine iron crossbow bolts were fired in succession, piercing the Minotaur's skin. The intense pain it brought, the huge amount of pain, seriously affected the Minotaur's performance. Under my command, the whip also took the opportunity to entangle the giant axe in the Minotaur's hand. I seized the opportunity to attack fiercely, and the Minotaur was quickly defeated, falling into a pool of blood. Afraid that the Minotaur would change again, I grabbed the Minotaur's giant axe at random and chopped off the Minotaur's huge head. Let's quickly enter the temple and see what's inside. Seeing the Minotaur die tragically, Zhang Wei was a little excited. This ruin has existed for who knows how long, yet it still had a hero-level Minotaur guarding it. This shows how powerful that god was in life. The resources left behind by a powerful god are definitely not few. A huge golden crown. The gold mine used to make the golden crown was produced in the abandoned gold mine. However, its grade is much higher than those gold fragments. Zhang Wei's eyes were fixed on the golden crown, unable to suppress his excitement. Brother Xing, we're rich. I stepped forward to check and saw that inside the golden crown was a golden Minotaur skeleton. The gold color indicates that the bones contain divine power. It's just that, after so many years of corrosion, the flesh and blood containing more divinity has completely disappeared. But what surprised me was that there was still a belt remaining on the waist bone of this Minotaur skeleton. The baptism of time has caused the divine flesh and blood to rot, but this belt has been completely preserved. This is enough to show that this belt is extraordinary. Zhang Wei suddenly realized, Brother Xing, this is bad. The dependents I left outside are praying to me, saying that 2 people have come outside, along with hundreds of hellhounds and dozens of toothless pterosaurs. I narrowed my eyes and already guessed who it was. I directly picked up that belt, and its information was transmitted to my mind. Transformation belt, containing the system power of the transformation civilization, governing the power of coins. It can draw power from special coins to initiate transformation. Right now, Zhang and the other two are about to enter the temple. This belt may be the way to break the situation. I immediately buckled the belt around my waist, preparing to use it, but as the belt tightened, I felt a consciousness rush into my mind. That consciousness was actually the Minotaur skeleton hidden in the golden crown. The Minotaur skeleton warned me that only by agreeing to his request could I use the transformation belt, and his request was to have me, within 3 years, defy the transformation civilization and win the championship of the 100 Kings competition. Transformation civilization. I heard about it in my previous life. This is a powerful civilization, only slightly inferior to the godly civilization. As for what the 100 Kings competition is, I don't care about them. I readily agreed to that consciousness's request. Immediately, a mysterious contract was generated in my mind, half merging into my mind and half merging into the transformation belt. I hurriedly opened my information panel to view it. Name, Chen Xing level. Divinity creatures, etc. are divinity creatures, demigods. True God, main God, God King. Mysterious ability, economic manipulation, divinity. 1 point, core level, level 1. Added to sacred objects, intersecting fruits, core dependence. Parasite, the second aspect, belonging to the information aspect of the transformation belt. Name Chen Xing, net closing warrior. I clicked on 2 ability entries to view. Ability, G-coins, can be made into special coins by refining powerful objects. Ability, net closing warrior, can use special coins to create a one-time transformation belt, inferior to the returning warrior, new bro. Have you finished? They are coming in. Zhang Wei urged from the side. The black iron goblins I left outside have already been slaughtered. Zhang Long and Zhou Liang are opening the temple gate. My brow is tense. I have already merged with the net closing belt. Where to find special coins that can be used for transformation? Just as I was troubled, the temple gate was opened. Zhang Long and Zhou Liang led a large number of dependents into the temple. They saw the huge golden crown at a glance. Big bro, we're rich, Zhang Long said excitedly, leaving aside everything else. Just the huge golden crown alone can allow us to earn a fortune on this trip. Not to mention the treasures inside the golden crown. I didn't expect you two to have such good luck, to actually stumble upon such a grayish-red ruin. But you've met us 2 brothers, your luck has run out. Now honestly get down. I can still leave you a whole corpse, otherwise, I will definitely make you die without a burial ground. Zhou Liang and the others said. I saw the extraordinary level shameless wyverns following Zhou Liang and Zhang Long, and the hellhounds added up to a large number. There is also a heroic level Cerberus, and on my side, there is a heroic level Cyclops, plus an extraordinary level Tired, plus some that only have the black iron goblins at the golden eagle level. The troop strength gap between the 2 sides is too large. I basically determined that there is almost no possibility of a comeback on my side. The only variable is the transformation belt around my waist. And if I want to transform, I also need a powerful special coin. Being forced to this point, I have no choice. My gaze fell on the golden skeleton inside the golden crown. That is a bone left behind by a true god. To satisfy the coin-making ability's requirements, I directly pressed my hand on the true god's bones. Activating the coin-making ability, a dazzling golden light bloomed from my palm. Bastard! What are you doing? Zhang Long roared angrily, immediately ordering the shameless wyvern to launch a surprise attack. Zhou Liang also ordered the hellhounds to attack, determined to interrupt my current actions. I can't get away during the coin-making process. I can only order Not Karma and Whiplash to block the attacks. Zhang Wei is so scared that he is about to wet his pants, but he is very clear about the current situation. If you don't resist, there is only one way to die. Do you think I'm easy to bully? F***CK your mother. Zhang Wei uttered an angry roar and summoned his last trump card. Black iron goblins with a lot of bombs tied to their bodies were summoned by him and without hesitation rushed towards the attacking hellhounds and shameless wyverns. Then there was a series of explosions. The bombs exploded in the hellhound group, blooming with large patches of blood. But Zhang Wei's core dependence. The black iron goblins are, after all, only just awakening and developing. The goblin technology level is too low. Even the power of the planted bombs is not enough. Shameless wyverns and hellhounds were killed in time, but this still angered Zhou Liang. Dare to bomb my hellhounds? Don't you and your goblins give my doggies a burial? Zhou Liang roared. As a top student of the War College, he is much better than our group. High school students are too strong. A large number of hellhounds swarmed up, wanting to tear Zhang Wei to pieces. Whiplash still pulled Zhang Wei back to my side by whipping its tentacles. Cyclops uses heroic level life iron stone. to resist in front. The hellhound's sharp claws scratched and tore at Cyclops' body, tearing off a large number of cheap iron wireworms. Cyclops is risking his life to buy me more time. Die for me. Zhou Liang saw victory in sight. Under his command, the Cerberus. 3 huge heads opened their mouths. A fierce hellfire spewed out. The violent fire snakes directly submerged Cyclops' figure. Burn me to ashes? Zhou Liang thought excitedly. He seemed to see it. As long as Du Yi is killed, my family will be safe. The treasures of this ruin are destined to belong to him. But Zhou Liang's luck was just a tiny bit off. In the second before the raging fire serpent struck, I finally completed the product, my face shimmering. With a dazzling golden light, a special coin formed in my hand. I didn't hesitate, and inserted the special coin into the slot on my Emperor's belt. Emperor transformation. Grasp, activate the power within the special coin. A rich divine power enveloped my entire body, transforming into a set of amazing armor. I put on this armor. I felt as if I possessed endless power. Without hesitation, I lunged toward the fire serpent, blocking it in front of Du Yi. The flames of the zodiac sprayed onto the armor. Not only did they not bring any heat, but they made me feel a little warm. With a slight exertion of force, the terrifying divine power collapsed, and directly dispelled the fire serpent. Even the hellhound that spewed hellfire was blasted back a dozen meters. It only managed to stabilize itself. I didn't give Zhou Liang a chance to think. Stepping forward, the terrifying power shattered the floor beneath my feet, bursting forth with a powerful impact. Whether it was a hellhound or a shameless pterosaur, anything that stood in my way was smashed to pieces by me. Seeing that I was about to kill him, Zhou Liang decisively ordered the hellhound to block in front of him. Then Zhou Liang turned to look at Zhang Long, only to see Zhang Long grabbing the shameless pterosaur and fleeing frantically. Zhou Liang was so angry that his teeth were bleeding. Kid, I admit you're lucky, but in the face of my rich combat experience, you're still far from it. Zhou Liang took out from his pocket a dark black bone. This was also one of his trump cards. He tossed the dark black bone towards the hellhound, chanting in his mouth, "Terrifying apostle lord of hell, I am willing to use the life of the hellhound to exchange for the opportunity for you to take action." The dark black bone exploded on the hellhound with Zhou Liang's chanting. The dark black broken bones, like nails, pierced into the hellhound's body, causing the hellhound's flesh to quickly harden, and those broken bones quickly formed ferocious bone spurs. The hellhound let out a painful howl, but was unable to resist the erosion of the dark black bones. It could only, under Zhou Liang's gaze, eventually transform into a terrifying corpse covered in dark black bone spurs. At the same time, its aura soared to the lord level. When I realized Zhou Liang was going to pull this stunt, I had already retreated to beside Jin Tuan. Your playing strength is still far from mine. Today I will let you see the true power of my core familiars. With that said, I gave an order to Du Yi and the exhausted. A parasite is implanted in my body. Even though the aura emitted by the terrifying corpse was terrifying, causing Du Yi and the exhausted to instinctively feel fear, the level of a fanatical believer allowed them not to betray, but to choose to believe, and loyally fulfill the divine decree I issued. 2 different parasites were simultaneously implanted into my body. This is the strongest state I comprehended in my previous life, hybrid parasitism. In the Bai Wang state, I also introduced the divine aura into the cells of the 2 parasites. In an instant, my momentum changed once again, faintly showing a tendency to break through the lord level. This is impossible. Impossible. You're just a high school student. You just awakened and solidified your core familiars. How could you be so strong? Zhou Liang let out an unbelievable sound. In the next second, a huge fist struck with terrifying wind pressure, and Han Den Muc Kong the Tranna, Chu Luong Kong Kip Fong by Gica, Se Nuoi Lan Zak Chet Dang So Kia Du Tan Tan Tro Bui. This punch, 10 years of power. What do you think? You and your qualifications are equally ridiculous. My indifferent voice came, not knowing who I was saying it to. After I released my strongest blow, activating the special coin energy within the Bai Wang belt, I then lost my strength. The 2 parasites popped out of my body and lay on the ground, looking half dead. I also felt as if my body had been hollowed out by half, and I was extremely weak. Because I overdrawn my power, I can't even walk on my own now. I'm afraid I can't continue exploring this ruin. Okay, Brother Xian, are you alright? Zhang Wei's voice was a little trembling as he asked me. The look in his eyes at me was a little strange. He walked to my side. Zhang Wei reached out and gently helped me up. Brother Xian, you were really too majestic just now. You smashed that disgusting corpse. Along with cousin Jiang Long. Do you think cousin Jiang Long's parents will go to the school to report us? I am very calm at the moment. Killing someone in an abandoned mining area, as long as there is no solid evidence. Even if Zhou Liang's family appealed, I wouldn't be afraid. Just deny knowing anything. To ensure our stories matched, I even specially crafted a story and had Secretary Zhang Wei solemnly and proactively swear an oath. As long as I stubbornly deny knowing anything, no one can do anything to me. Zhang Wei was a little hesitant at first, but as I promised to split the golden light with him equally, Zhang Wei immediately gained confidence. This is the maturity and stability that resources bring. This golden light is very precious. If it were to enter the market, it's inevitable that someone would trace the problem back to me, so my intention is for us two to internally digest it. Zhang Wei expressed his complete agreement. After all, he didn't contribute much in this battle, so being able to get half of the golden light was already very satisfactory. As for the remaining true god bones in the golden light, I was prepared to split them equally to shut Zhang Wei's mouth, but Zhang Wei refused. Brother Xing, I know my own capabilities best. Taking half of the golden light is already a huge advantage. These bones should all belong to you. Zhang Wei spoke with utmost sincerity. After hearing this, I looked at Zhang Wei with a hint of admiration. I like dealing with people who understand boundaries. Since that's the case, I'll accept it without hesitation. Tell me. I looked at the black bone fragments and flesh scattered on the ground, and some minion corpses. Among them, the black bone fragments belong to the Terror Visage, and the flesh comes from Zhouliang. The corpses are from the Hellhound and the Toothless Anomaly. These things can't be left at the scene either. I immediately summoned a large number of carrion scales with some difficulty to clean up the flesh and minion corpses. Everything will be used as food for the carrion scales. After being eaten, it is equivalent to destroying the evidence. The bones of the Terror Visage were piled together. Strictly speaking, these bones can also be considered a good material. I planned to use these materials to make weapons. By the time I had turned all the True God bones and Terror Visage bones into special coins, Zhang Wei had already led the Black Iron Goblins to completely dismantle the temple. Even the floor tiles outside the temple were completely removed. The topsoil was even removed by 3 feet. This temple is not an ordinary building, but a special building with certain functions. After dismantling it, it can be completely transplanted into one's own divine domain, allowing believers and minions to pray in the temple. Faith will be enhanced. Brother Xing, there are 3 temples in total. 1 main hall and 2 side halls. The main hall is for you. I'll keep the 2 side halls. Zhang Wei said excitedly. The joy of looting made him completely forget his previous fear. I nodded, and then from my pocket, I took out 2 golden special coins. As I activated the Coin King Eternity ability, the 2 special coins gradually transformed, turning into 2 one-time golden transformation belts. Transformation belt, divine power, one-time transformation belt. After activation, it can absorb the special coins, the power contained within transforming into a divine power state, gaining the strength comparable to a hero-level lifeform. The transformation time depends on the combat situation. This is for me? Zhang Wei's eyes lit up. He had seen the entire process of me transforming through the belt. It was simply too cool for words. I was willing to give him 2 of these life-saving things in this critical moment, which really moved Zhang Wei. Of course it's for you, I affirmed. When I was at my weakest, Zhang Wei didn't take advantage of my misfortune and even shared the spoils he found with me. These actions made me feel that Zhang Wei was worth knowing. Brother Xing, I really love you to death. From now on, I'll be your number 1 follower. Zhang Wei excitedly put away the 2 belts. This thing is both cool and powerful. It's definitely a must-have for showing off. And I still have 7 special coins on hand. Among them, 5 are divine power coins. When used in conjunction with the Coin King belt, they can transform into a divine power state, gaining the strength comparable to a lord-level lifeform, and can use divine power to effectively resist any form of damage. The other 2 are Hell Sea coins. When used in conjunction with the Coin King belt, they can transform into a Hell Sea state, gaining the strength comparable to a lord-level undead, and can use Hell Aura and Sea Bone power to fight. The 2 types of coins have different effects, allowing me to cope with more different situations, and also made me more interested in the Coin King belt. Currently, the Coin King belt is only at Tier 1 and can only integrate 1 special coin for transformation. If it is upgraded to Tier 2, it should be able to integrate 2 special coins at the same time for transformation. After completely looting this small piece of land, Zhang Wei and I were unable to continue exploring other lands and could only choose to return to our divine domain. But before returning, I chose to broadcast the coordinates of this True God ruin in a paid acquisition method. Divine domain players within the abandoned goldmine area may receive it. After doing this, Zhang Wei and I teleported away. 10 minutes after we teleported away, Zhang Long brought mercenaries hired through family channels and re-entered this ruin. Cousin, I brought people to help you. Where are you, older cousin? Zhang Long sent a message to Zhou Liang to inquire, but he never received any reply. Zhang Long could only command the old soldiers he brought. "Find him for me! You must find my older cousin." As soon as I teleported back to God's Domain civilization, I received a large number of requests from other God's Domain players, with over 100 years of God's Domain players paying to acquire it. They learned the coordinates of the True God Relic, and the number of God's Domain players who know these coordinates is still growing. However, this income is nothing compared to the value of the remaining unexplored areas of the True God Relic. It's just a drop in the bucket. I can't help it. In my current weakened state, continuing to stay in the True God Relic will definitely lead to death. Moreover, the more people who enter the True God Relic, the smaller the suspicion on me and Zhang Wei will be. Monday, as soon as I arrived at school, I was called to the office by my class teacher, Lu Feng. When I went in, I saw Zhang Wei and Zhang Long glaring at each other. Behind Zhang Long, there was a man and a woman. They looked young. I didn't know their exact age. But after I came in, they stared at me as if they were looking at an enemy. Besides these people, there was also a smiling middle-aged man sitting behind the desk. "Everyone's here, right?" the middle-aged man asked the class teacher, Lu Feng. Responding to Director Wang, "Zhang Wei and I have both been called," class teacher Lu Feng respectfully replied. The middle-aged man then introduced himself. "You may not know me. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Wang Qian. My current position at the school is Acting Director of Student Affairs. The previous Director of Student Affairs, Zhao Ling, has taken a temporary leave due to some unexpected family matters. I will be taking over his work this semester." Acting Director Wang Qian's words startled me. I remember in the abandoned gold mine, Zhang Long mentioned a rumor that the Director of Student Affairs could return at 1 o'clock with a backer. Now it seems, Director of Student Affairs Zhao Ling's leave is likely not an accident, but rather deliberately caused by the forces behind Zhang Long. The reason I called you two students here, I think you should be clear. Striving for leniency through confession. Resistance leads to strict punishment. If you can proactively confess your mistakes, I can decide to give you a lighter punishment, Acting Director Wang Qian said sternly. I suddenly interrupted, "Respected Director Wang, we are wronged." Zhang Wei even became a repeating parrot. "Yes, we are too wronged." Class teacher Lu Feng immediately wanted to reprimand, but was stopped by Acting Director Wang Qian raising his hand. "Elaborate. Why are you shouting that you're wronged?" Acting Director Wang Qian asked with a smile. I squeezed out a look of grievance and said, "Zhang Wei and I went to the abandoned gold mine to mine on the weekend and encountered Zhang Long and his older cousin. Zhang Long, relying on his older cousin being a high achiever in the War Academy, said he was going to kill us." "You're talking nonsense." I didn't. Zhang Long immediately retorted, but his flustered appearance was completely telling this group of seasoned veterans in the room that the situation was indeed as I said. "Zhang Long, please don't speak yet. Continue," Acting Director Wang Qian said. I continued, "We couldn't beat Zhang Long's older cousin, so we could only run away. As a result, by some twist of fate, we ran into a relic. But Zhang Long and his older cousin quickly caught up. Zhang Long's older cousin bullied the weak. We were beaten until we were holding our heads and scurrying away. It was hard to escape back," Zhang Wei quickly added. "The situation is just as I said." "Bullshit. It was clearly you who caught us off guard. You even took the treasures from the relic." Zhang Long couldn't help but roar. The eyes of the man and woman behind Zhang Long suddenly sharpened as they looked at me. "Slander. It's simply slander," I shouted loudly in great anger. "What kind of person am I? Doesn't the school know? I'm a senior in high school. Just awakened my core familiar, and it's still the most useless mutated hairworm. Zhang Long and his older cousin. Two shameless people. One's core familiar is an unholy cage, and the other's core familiar is a whisper fist. Both are naturally extraordinary level powerful familiars, chasing us to and messing us up. Zhang Wei and I suffered heavy losses to our core familiars. It's uncertain whether we can even participate in the next assessment. It's you who are shameless." Zhang Long was so angry that he opened his mouth to curse, but the man behind him forcibly pressed him down. "Boy, do you have any evidence for what you said?" The man said coldly. "Evidence? I'm the one who wants evidence. Which one of the unholy cage and whisper fist isn't 100 times stronger than a mutated hairworm? Zhang Long is framing me, saying they were beaten by me. He's the one who needs to produce evidence." I put on an extremely angry look. The acting director, Wang Qian, and the class teacher, Lu Feng, exchanged glances, also thinking what I said made sense. The weakness of the Gordian worm race is still too authoritarian. Even in plain clothes, how plain can they be? Anyone with a functioning brain can easily distinguish a plainclothes Gordian worm from a shameless cage, as well as low desire fist, favoring the strong and neglecting the weak. Coco. Let me talk about the treasures in that level 1 area. Acting director Wang Qian deliberately changed the subject. I immediately acted even more indignant. Just mentioning it makes me angry. Zhang Wei and I discovered that level 1 area first, but Zhang Long and his cousin came up and tried to snatch it. I couldn't beat them, so I had to abandon the treasure and flee. Zhang Wei added in a factual manner from the side. To escape, I even self-destructed several hundred black iron goblins. Director Wang, you have to stand up for me. Zhang Long is bullying people outside the school. The school can't just ignore it. I was beaten and am covered in injuries. My head still hurts all over. Zhang Long has to compensate me for medical expenses. I also chimed in with the teaching. We sang in harmony, directly making Zhang Long a laughingstock for bullying others with his connections. Acting director Wang Qian was getting a headache from me and Zhang Wei's commotion. He had accepted money from the Zhang family and wanted to favor Zhang Long. But me and Zhang Wei's account was too reasonable and well-founded. After questioning everyone, Zhang Long's crime was confirmed. This made things difficult for acting director Wang Qian. Zhang Long was also driven a bit crazy with anger. I'll compensate you, my ass. I have so many shameless cages. I haven't even settled accounts with you, and you're trying to frame me. You're the villain accusing the victim. I shouted loudly. I wanted to make this thing chaotic so that Zhang Wei and I could get rid of suspicion. Zhang Long, you are slandering good people, you are bullying classmates. You are shameless. Zhang Wei also joined in the scolding. Seeing that the scene was about to become chaotic again, the man behind Zhang Long suddenly spoke. Everyone, shut up. I'm here to ask only one thing. Where exactly did Zhou Liang go? Me and Zhang Wei looked at each other and remained silent. Just say what you know, class teacher Lu Feng urged. Aren't you telling us to shut up? I protested, then turned to look at Zhang Wei. Zhou Liang. Who's that? I asked, bewildered. Do you have any recollection? Zhang Wei spread his hands and shook his head. I don't know either, cousin. Are you asking me? Do you two usually contact each other via drifting bottles? Under Zhang Wei and my tacit and well-coordinated attempts to shift blame and joke around, the mentality of everyone in the room was collapsing somewhat. The man behind Zhang Long was the most anxious. He was Zhou Liang's father. I'm only asking one thing now. Where is Zhou Liang? Zhou's father could no longer suppress his anxiety. The words were practically roared out. I don't know. We really don't know where Zhou Liang is. And shouldn't we be the ones who were bullied? We were clearly robbed and beaten. The two of us haven't even reported it to the school to seek justice yet, so how is it our fault? Zhang Wei's emotions immediately surged, tears streaming down his face, and a large snot bubble stuck to half his face. So many of my black iron goblins died. I haven't even complained. Why is Zhang Long interrogating me? The school is too bullying. I'm not going to this broken school anymore. The woman standing behind Zhang Long, who had been silent all along, finally spoke at this moment. Stop making things difficult for these two children. But teacher Li Qian, this is an important clue to finding Zhou Liang. We can't give up like this. Zhou's father still wanted to continue the questioning. Li Qian glanced at Zhou's father. Zhou Liang is my student. I know best how many trump cards he has. Just the two of them, recent members of the core group who just awakened. One is a plainclothes Gordian worm, and the other is a black iron goblin. Which one is a match for Zhou Liang's hellhound? I felt the timing was right and put forward a viewpoint that I had been planning all along, in order to completely dispel Zhou's father and Li Qian's suspicions. To muddy the investigation. You say Zhou Liang is missing, so you come to interrogate us. Who knows if he wanted to swallow the treasures in the level 1 area all for himself and hid them? Nonsense. My son is well-behaved and excels in his studies. How could he do such a thing? Zhou's father immediately defended his son's reputation. You even robbed 2 high school students. Do you have some misunderstanding about what well-behaved and excels in his studies means? If I were Zhou Liang, I would definitely do that. After all, it's such a large spirit beast. If you swallow it all alone, you don't have to give up reward points. After I've used it up, I'll come back. Who can make me spit out those treasures? I exclaimed loudly. These words seemed unintentional but gave Zhou's father and Li Qian a completely new angle to consider. They immediately felt that what I said made some sense. Now, the atmosphere in the office completely changed, with acting director Wang Qian in charge. Zhang Wei and I were useless, and he waved his hand, telling us to leave. But just as I was about to walk out of the office door, Li Qian suddenly said, Chen Xing, I don't know. It's nothing. You can go, Li Qian waved, and Zhang Wei and I left. After watching us leave, Li Qian spoke again. There are thousands of players entering the first season of the God Domain. If student Zhou Liang is really hiding in the first season, anyone could come into conflict with student Zhou Liang over treasures. As Zhou Liang's mentor, All I can do is try to get Zhou Liang a year of rest. Zhou Fu hurriedly arrived. Thank you for your help, Teacher Li Qian. When that brat Zhou Liang returns, I will definitely bring him to your door to apologize and thank you. In his heart, Zhou Fu actually believed the misleading statement I gave them. He wanted to see what ability I had with both the class teacher and the dean. Bribed to avoid being framed. After school, Zhang Wei and I agreed to meet in my god domain, mainly to divide the spoils. I had promised to give Zhang Wei half of the gold coins. Now is the time. With the help of tools, the gold coins were cut in half. Zhang Wei happily took half of the gold coins and hurried back to his god domain to strengthen his god domain core. I did the same. My god domain core, nourished by the gold coins, quickly leveled up, soon reaching the limit that my divine creature could reach, which was level 10. There were still a lot of gold coins left, so I could only keep them and use them later. Because of the limitations of the god domain system, a level 10 god domain core can only be added to level 1 and level 2 creatures. That is to say, I can now add a total of 9 levels of creatures to my god domain core. The divine power I have on hand is probably only about 5,000 in total, taking 3,000 divine power from that. To buy goblins and long-legged spiders to speed up the development of the Cyclops and Whip Imp, I would only have 2,000 divine power left at my disposal. Just as I was coming up with an idea, a video call from my father, Chinda, interrupted me. I quickly answered, and saw on the other end of the video my father, Chenda, and my mother, Li Jun, directing their familiars busily. Xian, your dad and mom are exploring a newly developed relic in the abandoned gold mine. It will take a long time to come home, my mother Li Jun said gently. My father, Chanda, said casually, I don't know which idiot actually published the coordinates of the relic in a secret, paid format, instead of keeping it a secret and exploring it themselves. They're just unbelievably stupid. My expression froze. Unsurprisingly, whether in the previous life or this life, my parents are always my safe haven. Hurry up and say what's up, or the resources inside will be snatched by others, my father, Chunda, urged. My mother, Li Jun, then began to explain. Your dad and I captured a Minotaur war ghost cub in the Relic, a hybrid of the Minotaur race and the war ghost race. If you nurture it well, it can reach the heroic level when it's an adult. Gifting you the Minotaur war ghost card should quickly result in some rewards. Xian, remember to check it. I nodded, my eyes shining. I was just struggling whether to use the 2,000 divine power I had on hand to buy holy objects or to cultivate new parasitic familiars. Now I don't have to struggle. In the previous life, one of the parasitic familiars I cultivated, a variant, had the war ghost race as its parasitic target. The war ghost race is a humanoid, naturally transcendent life form. They are ghostly in form and are skilled at using various weapons in battle. The Minotaur war ghost is a hybrid variable of the war ghost race, and there is a high probability that it can meet the needs of the parasitic familiar. Soon, the card that sealed the Minotaur war ghost cub was delivered to my hands. I immediately released it and used the diluted venom to partially parasitize the Minotaur war ghost cub. At first, the Minotaur war ghost cub resisted the parasitism, constantly fighting back, trying to get rid of the parasitic familiar. Under my suppression, the parasitic familiar finally completed the parasitism on the Minotaur war ghost cub and successfully awakened its self-awareness. The parasitic familiar, black and red throughout. Second generation Riot, core familiar, parasitic familiar second generation was born. Riot familiar level, extraordinary hybrid life form. Familiar abilities, great strength, transformation. Weapon mastery, faith level, non-happiness. Although both are generation 2 mechanical bodies, Riot's abilities are far superior to Whip. Whip can only whip and bind with its 8 willful tentacles. But Riot can transform any part of its body into a weapon for combat. Also, because of its great strength, Riot's personality is more irritable, and it just awakened its self-awareness. Still very weak, it wanted to kill the person in front of it. Riot's arms began to transform, turning into 2 blades and attacking me. Luckily, I have the Cheat King belt. As the Cheat King belt activated, a divine power coin was inserted, and I initiated the Cheat King transformation. Appearing before Riot in a Lord-level divine power form, Riot experienced thousands of whippings, completely acknowledging me. In front of me, it was as docile as a lamb. It would voluntarily stretch its head under my palm, seeking petting. Its faith level also soared to fanatic. I satisfactorily ended the activity of spreading faith. And during this speech, I also accidentally found a method to advance the Cheat King belt. I'm looking forward to the Cheat King belt entering the 2nd tier, bringing me more assistance. With Riot, my mechanical body family has another fierce warrior. Now, the 2,000 divine power I have left can be used to buy a tier 2 sacred object. to enhance the strength of my core familiar. After searching the Divine Domain Mall, I finally found one. Sincere Sacred Object. Tier 2 Sacred Object, Blood Chi Scimitar. After being added to the Divine Domain Core, there is a certain chance that the core familiar will master the skill to summon the Blood Chi Scimitar. The Blood Chi Scimitar comes with blood poison. Wounds that are cut will bleed non-stop. Price 2000 Divine Power. Filled with anticipation, I added the Sacred Object Blood Chi Scimitar into the Divine Domain Core. The power of the Blood Chi Scimitar spread outward from the Divine Domain Core, covering every mechanical body. The venom constructed by countless mechanical bodies. Whip and Riot all gained the skill of Blood Chi Scimitar because of this. The difference is, when Venom releases the Blood Chi Scimitar skill, it immediately turns into blades of blood chi, with a tearing effect. When Whip releases the Blood Chi Scimitar skill, its tentacles turn into blades of blood chi, while still maintaining a soft texture. Like a soft object, increasing its lethality. Riot's Blood Chi Scimitar skill is the most normal. It is to transform a part of its body into a Blood Chi Scimitar, but its whole body can initiate the change. Once it fully activates the skill, it will become a porcupine with Blood Chi Scimitars stuck all over its body. I am very satisfied with this, and look forward to Riot's future contributions. The next morning, homeroom teacher Lu Feng sent a message notifying the students in the class that the class's second assessment will begin this month. And before the assessment, homeroom teacher Lu Feng specifically set down multiple regulations. For example, you can't rob other students, otherwise your assessment results will be cancelled and you will be expelled directly. Only core familiars are allowed to participate in the assessment, otherwise the assessment results will be cancelled and you will be advised to withdraw. The one with the worst results will be directly advised to withdraw. During the assessment, it is forbidden to carry weapons. Otherwise, the assessment results will be cancelled. Listening to homeroom teacher Lu Feng announcing these regulations in public, the students in the class all frowned in unison. This is just short of reporting my Divine Domain Citizenship Certificate. Some classmates were worried for me, but more felt that I was the most unlucky. Zhang Wei on the side was already sending me messages secretly. Brother Xian, Lu Feng is targeting you so much. What do you think? What does he want? Just do the assessment properly. I will use my own strength to repeatedly slap his face. Expressing this. At this time, Jiang Long triumphantly raised his hand and asked homeroom teacher Lu Feng, "Teacher, what are the rewards for this assessment?" "I haven't said it yet." Homeroom teacher Lu Feng tried hard to calm the anger in his heart before saying, "The rewards for this assessment are very rich. Third place, a bottle of pure dragon blood. There is a certain chance that an elite level life form will advance to extraordinary level and gain some dragon power. Second place, can choose a tier 2 sacred object in the class treasure vault. As for first place, the reward is a special red blood dragon nest. Familiars with dragon bloodlines can enter the red blood dragon nest to enhance the familiar's dragon bloodline concentration, and there is a certain chance of a life leap phenomenon. Transformed into a heroic level life form, Crimson Blood Flying Dragon students. Get ready, the exam is about to begin. Following the command of the class teacher Lu Feng, the consciousness of all the students in the class was introduced into the assessment space. At the same time, the exam questions for this assessment were also displayed. This time, my task is to enter a Zerg battlefield in the form of a core sword clan incarnation. In the Zerg battlefield, there are 4 types of Zerg. Leaping worms, life level is ordinary level. The largest number can get 1 assessment point after hunting. Thin Pow worm, the life level is elite level, and you can exchange for 15 assessment points after hunting. Electric Mang worm, the life level is extraordinary level, and you can exchange for 30 assessment points after hunting. Black worm mother, the life level is heroic level, and you can exchange for 10,000 assessment points after hunting. After reading all the information, 4 options appeared in front of me for me to choose in what posture. Enter the Zerg battlefield. Option 1, Mutant Horsehair Worm posture. Ordinary level life form. Option 2, Parasite Generation DE posture. Heroic level life form weak. Option 3, Parasite Second Generation Whip posture. Extraordinary level life form weak. Option 4, Parasite Second Generation Riot posture. Extraordinary level life form. I chose the Parasite Second Generation Riot posture. Then, I entered the Zerg battlefield in the posture of a black and red ball. As Riot, I adapted to the current situation. Because of the rules, only core dependents can be assessed. Bull Demon War Ghosts cannot enter the arena. So I am not in a parasitic state now. The immediate task is to find a parasitic target. Soon, I set my sights on a leaping worm that was very close to me. Parasitism begins. Black and red threads frantically appeared on the leaping worm's body. even if it struggled desperately. But it is difficult to get rid of the entanglement of riot. Soon, a riot in the shape of a leaping worm appeared on the Zerg battlefield, controlling the body of the leaping worm. My whole body grew sharp chi and blood scimitars, like a spiky ball, bouncing forward on the ground. The surrounding leaping worms noticed the specialness of this leaping worm and approached to investigate. But they were all stabbed to death by the chi and blood scimitars spawned by riot. The benefits that leaping worms can bring are too low. I did not waste time collecting materials, but used it to find stronger Zerg for the next parasitism. Hard work pays off. Soon I found a fire pow worm. I controlled my body, jumped onto the fire pow worm and started parasitism. This process was more difficult than parasitizing a leaping worm. But the harvest is huge. After completing the parasitism, I completely became a special fire pow worm. Other fire pow worms attack with fire attribute shells. And the shells I fire can release a large amount of fire attribute at the moment of explosion. Small chi and blood scimitars, more lethal and wider range. But I am still not satisfied. At least I have to parasitize an electric mang worm. Then start the subsequent collection operation. So I dragged my heavy body and moved forward slowly. When encountering groups of leaping worms, I would also release a shell for bombing. Finally, I discovered the trace of an electric mang worm. The electric mang worm is indeed as mentioned in the information. 6 cut-off arms are as sharp as knives. Can also attach bioelectricity to the arms, bursting out with sharp cutting power, which is very compatible with Riot's ability. It's just that this extraordinary level life form will definitely be more difficult to parasitize than parasitizing a fire pow worm. Therefore, I can only injure the electric mang worm first, and then take the opportunity to parasitize it. As shells were fired, a large number of small chi and blood scimitars exploded from the shells. Regularly caused serious damage to the electric mang worm. I know. The opportunity has come. I decisively jumped off the fire pow worm and landed on the electric mang worm at the fastest speed. Because the electric mang worm was injured, the resistance was not strong, and the parasitism process was very smooth. I finally have the body of an electric mang worm. The 6 cut-off arms turned into 6 sharp chi and blood scimitars under the ability of Riot. When exerting force, it can also emit bursts of electric light. The ornamental and functional properties are simply full. I now feel that I can go to collect materials. Although I am not interested in the special building of the first place in the assessment, the bloodthirsty dragon nest, I am even more unwilling to let Zhanglong get this reward. So I must get first place. Just as I was about to set off, a special consciousness was transmitted to my mind. It was the Black Worm Mother issuing orders to all the electric worms. The Black Worm Mother had discovered some abnormal life forms different from the insectoids, so it was calling on the electric worms to hunt down those intruding life forms. The Black Worm Mother had discovered some abnormal life forms different from the insectoids, so it was calling on the electric worms to hunt down those intruding life forms. This information transformed into a map in my mind, with all abnormal life forms marked on it, and updating in real time. I took a closer look, and the abnormal life forms marked on the map were none other than the familiar incarnations of my dear classmates. Such a situation led me to have a bold idea. What if I risked parasitizing the Black Worm Mother, and then ordered all the insectoids to snipe students in the class except for me and Zhang Wei, so that the other students in this assessment could only get a 0 score? How would the homeroom teacher, Lu Feng, explain that to the school's higher-ups? Such a big teaching mishap, I'm afraid his position as director would be in jeopardy too. Lu Feng, let's see if you die this time. I trembled with excitement. According to the rules of parasitizing other insectoids' bodies, the probability of my plan succeeding is extremely high. But to ensure absolute certainty, I need to find a trustworthy partner to assist. Otherwise, if I get eaten by a passing insectoid while parasitizing the Black Worm Mother in the class, the person I trust the most is Zhang Wei. I quickly locked onto Zhang Wei's location through the map transmitted by the Black Worm Mother. I chased after him at the extremely fast speed of an electric spark worm. The proctor of the assessment space was homeroom teacher Lu Feng, who was monitoring the students' gains. The one collecting the most materials was naturally Zhanglong. Lu Feng had high hopes for him, hoping he would directly get 10,000 assessment points. His gaze shifted to me, which made Lu Feng very smug. Chen Xing, the reason I didn't expel you last time was because the director of education, Zhao Lin, was biased. This time, without his protection, let's see if I don't expel you. What surprised him was that the person ranked second was actually Zhang Wei. That 2-meter-tall black iron goblin was frantically beating a Chongzhu on the battlefield. The originally small goblin was actually as strong as a giant. Lu Feng was puzzled. Never mind. I'll deal with Chen Xing this time. As for Zhang Wei, I'll think of a way next time. At this moment, Zhang Wei was easily crushing Zerg. He had never forgotten his dad's idea. Jianglong had to pay the price. His deterrent power was much greater than a heroic life form. Away, it's me. I quickly identified myself. You're Xingji? Zhang Wei was surprised. How did your core scroll change again? I can't explain it clearly in a few words. In short, do you want to do something big with me? I asked. Zhang Wei was already eager to try. How big? Eliminate all the students except for you and me, and force Lu Feng to resign in disgrace, I said. Zhang Wei's eyes widened, and he breathed heavily. Xingji, it has to be you. This is too exciting. I have to do it. What should I do? You just need to listen to my instructions. I jumped onto Zhang Wei's black iron goblin, and guided him towards the black worm mother. The insectoids we encountered along the way all thought I was food captured by the black worm mother, and didn't stop us. Arriving near, we saw that insectoid with a huge body. The black worm mother. The next task is to prevent other insectoids from hindering me from completing the parasitization. Can you do it? I asked Zhang Wei. He patted his chest loudly. Absolutely. I jumped and landed on the black worm mother's huge body. The black and red storm began to parasitize it. The black worm mother struggled non-stop and released signals. A large number of leaping worms rushed over, but were all blocked by Zhang Wei. I accelerated the parasitization speed. Layers of black and red threads entangled and accumulated power. As the parasitization completed, a memory suddenly intruded into my consciousness. On a vast land, countless black worm mothers were worshipping. An insectoid with a mountain-like body and a crown of thorns. At that moment, I felt a gaze meet with that insectoid. A warning sounded in my mind. You have glimpsed the great existence. Percentage of insect queen, percentage of insect, detecting in your body. A special insectoid bloodline has been triggered. My memory was rapidly disappearing. A large number of black worm mother's life fragments appeared in my mind. My body was also growing rapidly. I wanted to resist, but found that I couldn't muster any strength at all. Just when I was about to despair and resign myself to fate, a bit of divinity from Buddha transformed into a golden tree of immense light and snatched me away. Subsequently, my self-awareness quickly returned. When I opened my eyes, I found that I had completely finished parasitizing the black worm mother. Now, I am the worm mother of all the insectoids on this battlefield. Xingji, are you all right? Zhang Wei's voice came over. I shook my dizzy head. Just now, due to the oppression brought by that unknowable great existence, I had taken a trip to the gates of hell. Fortunately, my identity as a god domain player consumed the only bit of divine power I had. Having just escaped the black worm mother fairy tale, dispersing all distracting thoughts, I'm about to pull off something huge. Through parasitism, I'm accessing the black worm mother's information network, issuing commands to the Zerg under the ashes. I'm going to use all the tactics taught by the school to achieve a saturated, crushing blow against my classmates. All Zerglings, firebat bugs and plasma bugs are being thoroughly investigated. Why has the Zerg battlefield become so fraught with danger? In just 1 minute, more than 10 students have already been killed. Lu Feng, using his authority, sends a notification. Quickly withdraw from combat. Return immediately. I also received this notification, but I won't give the remaining students a chance. Millions upon millions of Zerg under my command have had their attack desires surge. Even if you transform into an invincible giant dragon as a reward, flying in the air, you still have to face anti-air artillery fire, and you simply cannot escape. Lu Feng can only enter the assessment space in the form of his core familiar avatar. The next second, Forest Mainframe Behemoth appears on the battlefield. Since you're here, then leave your life behind. Trading the lives of 1,000,000 Zerg for Lu Feng's incomparably humiliating death is worth it, no matter how I calculate it. But before that, I need to take down the reward first.